Like the sitemap path control, the TreeView control is capable of using information from your web.sitemap file. Doing this requires a SiteMapDataSource control. Unlike the sitemap path control, you can also choose to customize a TreeView control manually by using its Quick Tasks menu. To begin this lesson, open the Forest Walks project from your Sample Files folder. And open site.master in Design View. Now add a SiteMapDataSource control to the page just after the sitemap path control. You will find it in the Data category of the toolbox. Set the ID property of the new control to SiteMapDataSource Forest Walks. You don't need to change any more properties. The SiteMapDataSource control will automatically detect your web.sitemap file. Note that if you want a more complex solution than the web.sitemap file, it is possible to create your own sitemap provider class. To do this, you would create a class that extends the system.web.sitemapProvider class. You learned about extending classes in Lesson 5.1. You can specify a custom sitemap provider by setting the sitemap provider property in the sitemap path and SiteMapDataSource controls. Next, add a TreeView control to the page just after the SiteMapDataSource control. You'll find the TreeView control in the Navigation category of the toolbox. As you can see, this control will display your site's navigation structure in an expandable tree. Set the ID property of your new control to TreeView Navigation. Now set the data source of your new TreeView by opening the Quick Tasks menu of the TreeView control, then clicking the Choose Data Source drop-down menu and selecting SiteMapDataSource Forest Walks. Test the site now by viewing default.aspx in your web browser. The navigation structure from your web.sitemap file is now shown in a tree structure. This navigation structure isn't really ideal for this site. It would look better on a site with a vertical navigation bar. Try expanding and collapsing the groups by clicking the plus and minus buttons. Now click Dream Falls from the Walks category, and you're taken to the correct page. Close your web browser now. And finally, you're going to configure your SiteMapDataSource control to hide the root element. Your web.sitemap file contains both root and home elements. This could be a little confusing for your users. Select your SiteMapDataSource control and set its Show Starting Node property to false. Your TreeView control now looks less confusing. The techniques that you've used in this lesson apply equally to the menu control, which you're going to use in the next lesson. That's lesson 7.17. Close Visual Studio now, saving your changes if prompted. You've now completed Lesson 7.16. Use the TreeView and SiteMapDataSource controls.